Me and My Shadow, written and illustrated by Arthur Dorros. On sunny days, my shadow walks with me. When I jump, my shadow jumps. When I run, my shadow runs too. Sometimes it's tall, sometimes it's small, but it follows along with me. Houses have shadows. Cars and buses have shadows. Trees have shadows. Even my little brother and the swing have shadows. See how many shadows you can find. Trace around them. Each shadow has a shape of its own. What makes shadows? Shadows are made when light is blocked from a surface. Hold your hand out in bright sunlight or in front of a flashlight in a dark room. There's the shadow of your hand. Hold out a book or a bear or a piece of paper. Whatever blocks the light makes the shadow. If you hold the flashlight in different places, you can see the shapes of shadows change. Shadows get bigger or smaller and change shape depending on how the light is blocked. When the sun is low, in the morning or afternoon, a lot of light is blocked. Then the shadow is tall. When the sun is overhead around the middle of the day, not much light is blocked from the ground. Then the shadow is shorter. Shadows can also move. Try catching them in a game of shadow tag. I'm it. I'll try to catch your shadow. The shadow of that tree is base. If you get there before you get tagged, you're free. Nya, can't catch me. The sun's getting higher and my shadow's getting smaller. We're on base. We don't have shadows here. We're in the tree's shadow. Look at the shadows. Shadows help us tell what shape something is. Try drawing an apple, a face, or tree bark with and without shadows. If I draw a circle, it sits there flat on the piece of paper. But if you color the shadows, it might look more like a ball or an orange. I like using shadows when I draw. It can help make things look more real. There are shadows all around us. A gigantic shadow is what gives us day and night. The Earth is like a big ball that spins in space. As our part of the Earth spins toward the sun, we have day. When our part of the Earth is in the shadow, we have night. You can see how this happens. Shine a flashlight on a ball in a dark room. On the side of the ball that is away from the light, there is a shadow. On this side, it is nighttime. The moon has a shadow too. The moon circles the Earth. One half of the moon always faces the sun. It is lit up. The side away from the sun is always dark. It is the shadow side of the moon. The moon takes many days and nights to circle the Earth. Each night, depending on where the moon is in its circle around the Earth, we see a different amount of the moon's shadow and its lit up side. Have you noticed how the moon changes? On this night, the moon looks like just a sliver. That is because we are seeing more of the moon's shadow and less of the lit up side than on other nights. On nights when the moon looks round and full, we are seeing more of the lit up side and less shadow. As the moon circles the Earth, once in a while it gets right between the sun and the Earth. Then the Earth is in the moon's shadow. We have an eclipse, a lunar eclipse. If we were in the part of Earth covered by the moon's shadow, we'd have an eclipse. That's called a solar eclipse because the light of the soul, the sun, is blacked out. We can see how this happens in a dark room. Cut out 2 round pieces of paper. Shine a flashlight on them like this. The big circle of paper is the Earth. The little circle is the moon. There are eclipses of the moon, lunar eclipses, once in a while, when the moon passes through the Earth's shadow. The dark spots on the moon are shadows too. They are shadows of the moon's mountains and craters. But eclipses don't happen often. Most nights I can see the moon and the shadows on its surface, and most days I see shadows in the sunlight. In the morning when I wake up, I see shadows on the ceiling. The shadows are from parts of the window and anything that blocks the light. Today, I had a mountain lion in my room. That lion looks hungry. Don't worry, I think it already ate breakfast. It's not really a lion, is it? It's a kitty cat. It's easy to tell stories with shadows. You can make shadows on the wall by making shapes with your hands in front of a strong light. Walls come in handy for putting on shadow puppet plays. My hands are close to the lamp, so a lot of light is blocked. The shadow is big. My hands are further from the lamp. Not as much light gets blocked. The shadows are smaller. If you want to try something fancy, make your own shadow puppet theater. You need a few pieces of thick paper, a cardboard box, scissors, and tape. Here's what to do. Cut puppets out of the paper. They can be animals, people, buildings, stars, anything you want for your play. When the puppets are ready, have them act out a story. Set up a puppet stage using a big sheet of light-colored paper or a thin cloth. Cut the bottom of the box and tape the paper or cloth onto it. Put a slide projector or another strong light source, maybe a flashlight or sunlight, behind the stage. Turn off the other lights in the room and let your puppets tell the story. X-rays are a way of using shadows too. The rays go through us and make shadows of our bones on film. The film is developed like film from a camera. Shadows show on the developed film. Where the X-rays hit the film turns dark. Where the X-rays are blocked by the bones, there are white shadows. He says, I fell and hurt my leg. I think it might be broken. And the doctor says, well, we'll see what happened. Now they have X-rays. This is an X-ray of a broken bone. This is an X-ray of an unbroken bone, a normal bone. She says, you are fine. Your bones are not broken. X-rays work because the X-rays pass through some parts of things more easily than others. Shadow pictures from X-rays can be taken of almost anything. There are shadows in this leaf when I shine the light through it. But X-rays can pass through more things than light can. Sonograms, pictures made by using sound, also leave shadows. Sound waves travel from a machine through water or air. The sound waves bounce back when they hit something and show on a screen. Behind whatever the waves hit, there is a sound shadow. Here is the sonar picture of the whale. A whale is spouting, which means it's sending water up into the air. Take a look. There are short shadows, tall shadows, round shadows, fuzzy shadows, shadows that move. On a hot summer day, I rest in the cool shadow of a tree. I lie in the shade and watch the shadows all around me.